On today's podcast, I'll be talking to two employees from an organisation called Youth First. One name is called Mark Francies. How you doing, Mark?
I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon.
And you and the other guy who I'm talking to is Manners.
Yes, good afternoon. It's good to be here.
Great stuff. So listen, tell us a bit about your organisation first, and I'm going to kind of give you some, give you some questions, and hopefully we can go through this and get some idea of exactly what Youth First is about. I've heard about you guys. You do some brilliant work in the community, and it's well appreciated. Although some people may not see it, we are very grateful that you guys are on the forefront, foot soldiers, working with today's young people in our community. So I'm going to ask you the first question, Mark, which is, how did you start and get into youth work with young people?
Oh, I started about 25 years ago, getting into youth work. So it just kind of like fell into my lap. So I was working in a sports shop at first, doing just working. So I thought, you know what, let me try and do something for the youth. So I decided to get into play work first, and I got into youth work, and then I've been stuck. So I've been working in homes, youth clubs, gangs, everything. So yeah, I just love youth work. I love working with youth, helping youth, just helping them just achieve what they need to achieve.
Yeah. I think I first met you at Beckton, is that right?
Yes, Beckton, yes.
All those years ago.
Yes.
So, we go back a long way.
Way.
And, when guys move on to do different things, they only go on to do greater things. These guys go on to do greater things and better things, which is what exactly what we're talking about. And for you, Manners, where did you start in youth? How did you get into youth work and work with young people?
Well, it's a bit of a journey for me. So I started off... basically, I used to play a lot of football and stuff like that, but I was kind of lucky. I had good mentors and good people around me, so they'd always give me good advice when I was around people I shouldn't be around. So I kind of fell into it that way. Then obviously I started doing youth work, and then I started working in schools doing PE. But I started off actually doing like after school clubs and stuff like that, and working in youth centres. And I just noticed that there's just needed to do something to help the young people, innit? So I just progressed. Worked for after school clubs, schools, and just progressed, and then we started to develop our own thing now. So here we are. So yeah, that's been about 20 years, 25 years.
Do you play for a team?
Not at the moment, no more. Used to play a lot of football, so it was like that, the progression. You see things, so, and that the part of the football is part of my story. So that was the one thing what kind of saved me, I could say, from being wherever, dead, jail, wherever now. So it's a long story, but it's all part of the progression. But yeah.
So guys, can you just tell me, Mark, I'm going to ask you the question first. Tell me a bit about Youth First and what you actually do.
Okay, so Youth First is an organisation that basically what don't we do? So we basically do everything. So outreach work, gangs intervention, going into schools, football program. Basically, we build our stuff around the young people. So whatever the young people want, we kind of build it around them. So right now we was in the school doing a behaviour program for young people, which was going really well. We were there for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So we do that kind of thing. We do football programs as well. We've done one in Forest Gate Community Centre. We've done it in West End Park. We do outreach. So if there's any issues outside schools, we'll go to a school and maybe do an outreach program outside there, so the kids get home safe, or if the parents are worried about their interaction with gangs outside school, we'll go down there and we'll interact with the young people and the gangs, just to make sure everyone's safe. And then we do workshops, give out certificates.
Okay, so
football, so we do.
So when they have those, when they go into your specific workshops and go into your programs, each young person gets a certificate at the end for an achievement and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So I know you do, as I said, Manners, you do football. Can you tell us a bit about that and the type of young people you have coming to you?
Okay, so what it is like we have we've got the whole organisation, which is Youth First, and then we have a extended arm, which is King's Academy. So this is where we turn our young people into kings. That's what we try to do. We try to empower them. So that's why we picked that name.
That's a big statement, kings.
So we would have, for instance, let's say if I was in a school and we'd use the footballs like a dangle a carrot for them. So it'd be like, okay, we identify if you're showing signs of potential or something like that. So we say, okay, we know he's kind of good at football, but he's not good at the schoolwork. So we try and put a program in place where everything works together. So he does his schoolwork, identify the problems, because as we know what school's like, there's millions of things going on which impacts outside as well. So we try and at least try and get them back in class doing their work, and then also come and do something with the football. And obviously, like we said, we'll push them. If they're any good, we'll send them for trials and so on and so forth. If not, they can also do coaching as well. So we get them ready for their level 1 coaching badge. We've got our FA talent scout thing where they can be scouts. So there's otherwise physiotherapy. There's a lot of things they can go. It's not only football or sport. So that's just one arm of it. And we've got like a media department, which is OD7. So we try to cover everything. So like Mark said, we build it around the young people. That's the key for us. So it's not
customized.
Yeah, we're not going to say, right, you have to do this. So, for instance, if there's a young person in, he can't go to the training on the Thursday, we'll say, okay, we'll try and do something where we know with your family, we can take you, go on a Tuesday. So everything's, runs together. So it's all smooth. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what we try to do on the football side of it. So, and they, like I said, they all come out with something anyway. So,
have you had any of those young people been sent to any football clubs, professional football clubs?
There's been...
Or the potential to go that way?
When we done Forest Gate School, we've had... I don't know if I should mention their names. We've got one at Rangers, presently now, who was playing with us. Mm-hmm. There was one at Aston Villa, who is presently, at the moment now, playing. So there's a few, and there's a couple in like League One, League Two. There's a lot as well who have found... Oh, now I'm a coach now at Watford. And so there's a lot of them doing the talent scouting as well. Wow. So there's a few, and there's a couple. Just last week, we had one go from Peterborough. He went on to, we took him to West Ham the other day. He's now been invited to go to PSG. He flew out to PSG, and then he's going to Real Madrid as well. So we're going to get some feedback as well.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got links there. Wow. Obviously, there's another one went to Germany. So it's, these
individuals who have worked with you and have got to that stage, you should have a Hall of Fame for them. Inside your company, of all the guys that you've got, and put them all up to show other people, look, this is where you can be. That is a fantastic achievement for any young person. I mean, we've got quite a few guys. One of them's been scouted for Chelsea. He went a couple of weeks ago. But again, where I'm working, not going to mention the school, but where I'm working, he came into the IEU one day, into the IE, IE area where he'd been thrown out of class. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be like signed to, a club, right? Yeah. So what's going on with you? Oh, sorry, it wasn't me. But anyway, long story short, when we got to the bottom of it, it was a minor incident. He was not the type of guy to be beating up people and so forth and so on, because he knows if he slips up, that club is not having him.
Yeah.
No matter how much you're great at ball, if your behaviour ain't on point, goodbye. Because I'm saying to him, brother, you're going to get pure red cards if you don't change the behaviour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what? But this is where it is. It's like we link the football with the youth. So on the pitch, it's like you got to control your temper. Try not to get a red card. Be a good leader. So you try to bring that back into school or into their life as well. So if you can do it on the pitch, you can do it off the pitch.
Yeah.
Just try to use the same mentality.
And it's a discipline as well.
Discipline. So we link it all.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say as well. What we do as well, we kind of, like we said, we tailor-make it to everybody. So we give them a pack. So everybody has their individual pack. So we know if there's mental needs you need, we will do it tailor-made for you. So some people it might be someone just looking at them the wrong way, sets them off. So we'll tell them, look, try and avoid that. There's ways of doing that. And then you carry that onto the pitch and then back into school. So you start to mentor them the same way. So I just thought I'd throw that in, because that was Mark's one there. Doing that back. So I have to throw that in. So everything's individual.
Which is
so
absolutely
there's
spot on.
No excuses after that. It's tailor-made to you. So there you go. So
brilliant. So what are the main issues you come across when you're working with young people, like in today's society? Like, just give us an example of the kind of stuff that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. Mark, that question's for you.
There's like the gang issue, knife crime, social media is a big one, because that is crazy. It's like they're just tapped into the social media so much. It's like it's their life, and they can't really get out. I know a young girl who just onto TikTok 24/7, nothing but TikTok,
Wow.
TikTok. And then one day, I must admit, this story. I was in the home, and then her phone broke. She went into meltdown. I mean, meltdown. Found herself on the floor, crying. I can't get my phone. So it's like the social media has taken a grip onto these young people in a big way.
Right.
And as another thing, mental health as well. A lot of these kids, these kids are going through mental health in a big way. Like when it comes up to their exams, it's a lot. Yes. And it's a lot of stress, a lot of mental health with this COVID coming and going as well. It's a lot for the young people. So it's a lot.
And I think with something like that happening, my kind of conversation I have with young people when it comes to that is you need to make space for yourself. And if that means turning your phone off, because that's the only option that you do have, if you want to make space, you're complaining about, you've got stress with exams, well, turn your phone off and get into your books. Because at the end of the day, like I've said to a lot of students I've worked with, is that when you go into the exam room, it's just you and the paper.
Yeah.
You're not going to be there with your phone or talking to your friend and asking them, what's the next? No, you and the paper. So you need to do some revision and take that quality time, because at the end of the day, you cannot go anywhere now, especially with the way things are with jobs, without the basics and the basics requirements, English, maths, and science. And, I've said to quite a few of them, you can't even get a job at McDonald's unless you have English, maths, and science, your basic stuff. And that's like you're flipping burgers, like. And I get it. I get what you're going to say. Why do you need English and maths for that? But that's the requirement. So if you haven't got entry level stuff, how are you going to kind of move on in life?
Yeah, because that's what I told young people. I know exams are important, but if you're in school, at least try. Try not to leave with nothing. Try at least try. It's not the end of the world, but I see exams as like a token to get you into that working world. You need that token, because that's the first thing the employers are going to ask. How was school? What did you do in school? If you come with nothing, they're going to think, well, if you didn't bother in school, why are you going to bother now?
Yeah.
But then it comes to a thing where it's not sometimes young people's fault either. Sometimes it's the way they learn. Some young people can think a lot faster. Yeah. Some are more hands-on. So maybe the school should kind of tailor to what the kids need as well.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that, because that is a serious thing inside the schools at the moment, is the way people learn. I mean, I used to teach music at the music academy.